Hello everyone, welcome to another, I guess, stream of me doing volunteer science. I'm just gonna probably just share the link around, maybe get some viewers in, wait for some people to come in. Okay, let's post in there. Edit that. Okay, I might post in here. Okay, post that. And also I'll post in the new Boink Telegram chat that I have. Oh, I think I just messed that up, did I? No. Okay, cool. Yep, alright, that works. Thought I messed up my stream there. Because usually OBS Studio doesn't like Linux switching between workspaces. Streaming, volunteers, no citizen science, if anyone. Alright, cool. Yep. Yep. Alright. Now, this time, I'm actually going to write down how much I started with, and and then we'll compare with how much we end with. Let me get the dashboard up so I can see who's saying hello. Harry's in here. Hey, Harry. Chuck a donate link. I'll give you my Gridcoin address. But yeah, I was thinking of putting up a donation link, but I don't know, I just can't really be bothered at the moment. Just gonna tweak the audio a bit. I think I'm good enough to speak. Yeah, dox myself. Alright, great. Alright, we have 2 viewers. One might be me. I should probably pop that out, but I'll keep that there just in case. But yeah, that seems all good so far. I don't know what we're gonna do today. I got my cup of tea. Got a nice cup of tea. I've got to let it cool down though. I'm in Australia, so right now it's I don't know. I have a thermometer in here. Let's check it. Thermometer says 27. It looks like 20. No, not 27. It's about 25. Thermometer says it's about 25 in here, and Australia is pretty hot at the moment. It's been lingering around 28, 30 degrees every couple days. We've got a cold front rolling over, so it's gonna chill out a bit over down here, but we're gonna ramp up to some really big heat once we get into the summer, as usual. But yeah, as for tonight, nice time for some tea. Oh, it's leaking a bit. Alright, so yeah, let's see if there's any new projects. I think we'll check out that first. What do we got? Active projects. So yeah, HSL, there's a new HSL one. I might want to try that out. There's an Eye for Diabetes 2. One of my friends was trying that out the other day. I wanna see what that is too. Official wildlife watching. Who eats your guts? Help us better understand scavenging of deer gut piles. Deer gut piles. Oh, we're probably looking at birds of prey. This is pretty gruesome. I don't think I can put this on my stream. But that is an interesting project there. I think I'm going to start off with maybe just something easy, seeing that we got quite a few viewers on here. I'll start off with the typical bash the bug, and then we'll move to HSL. and see how that's going. Because I think, are they doing mitochondria? Yeah, they're doing mitochondria. I was doing that, I think, last stream. And yeah, then we just have the extra little things. Most of them biology projects, just pictures of stuff and figuring out what's what, just checking whether things are good. The giraffe project isn't too bad. The giraffe project is pretty good. But yeah, let's go bash the bug. And before I continue, I'd better write down how much we have. We have 3370. Okay, got my sticky note up. Okay, where's my bash the bug? Let's bash the bug. Okay, what should we do? I'm feeling generous. I'm gonna go 10 wells. I don't think many people will be doing 10 wells. So for those of you that don't know what Zooniverse is, I should probably explain this at the start of all my streams. It's a site that allows you to participate in volunteered and citizen science. So it's where you contribute your brain power to solve puzzles that actually help scientists. Now, you're probably thinking that, oh, well, I need to know some stuff to actually do this, right? But in reality, no. They have pretty simple tutorials, and you can go through. It takes a little bit of reading and a little bit of thinking, but it's not too much. And in the end, it doesn't matter if you make a mistake, because what this entire project bases itself on is power of the crowd. So even if you get something a tiny bit wrong, it doesn't matter, because most people will be getting it right. It's just so long as that in the end the majority of people choose a particular outcome, and then that's how it works. And then even then, if there's a case where some of them are a little bit iffy, like for example some people for this might say 7, some people might say cannot classify, some people might have said 9 or something like that, something stupid. But in the if something happens like that, the scientists will probably say, okay, this is a little bit of a weird data, let's take a look at this ourselves. But even then, most of the time those are rare cases. But anyway, let's continue. So this is Bash the Bug. This is a project where we're looking at agar plates. So this is where bacteria grows in the little petri dishes. And we're looking for bacteria growth as you add more and more and more antibiotics. So to the left we have the least amount of antibiotics, so it looks really gross. And then to the right we have the most amount of antibiotics, which looks pretty clean in this one. But it's important to note that there is a little bit of contamination here, so we specify cannot classify according to the field guide, which you can use as a quick reference guide whenever you have a question with any of these projects. So yeah, I'm going to go through them. Usually on these streams I explain how stuff works just occasionally so people can get the gist of it. Mr. Boys, yeah, hi. This is Volunteer Science. I was just explaining it earlier. You can hop on zooniverse.org and help out scientists doing yeah, it's you're helping out scientists. I don't know if I have to explain it again. There's like 4 viewers in here who already explained it, but yeah, so it's just volunteered science. You come in, do some puzzles, like thinking challenges and stuff like that to help out scientists. So I'll go through this one just again real quick. So basically we're looking at agar plates, we're looking at petri dishes, and we're looking at how much antibiotics are given on each of the plates. So from the left it's the least amount of antibiotics, and to the right it's the most amount of antibiotics. And usually you would see that you'd start off with a lot of bacteria in the left one and slowly come down and down and down until there's no more bacteria left. That's what you'd think, right? Most of the cases that's true. In this case it sort of looks like that, where we have a lot of bacteria, and then suddenly on 8 it just stops. So if we go down the side here, we'll click 8, and then we'll click done, and we'll click next. So yeah, yeah, this is just a little chill stream. I'm here because late at night, I'm bored, feel like doing something, got my cup of tea. Yeah, just going through some volunteer science, helping out some scientists, and teaching some people. Yeah, some of the strains do... actually, this entire project is all about finding strains that do have a resistance. And that's essentially what it helps with. It helps scientists figure out, yeah, just gauge how resistant bacteria are. I'm going to click I cannot classify for that one because it has a gap in the middle there, which doesn't make sense because it's like antibiotics, antibiotics, and then, oh, suddenly it stopped. And then, okay, yeah, that's where it stopped. But then, hold on, the bacteria appears again. That's an anomaly. It can happen sometimes. It doesn't make sense, and that's why we usually say cannot classify. Again, this is a great example. Start off with one bacteria up here, and we got nothing. So it looks like the antibiotics worked. But then, Petri dish 10 with the most antibiotics. Hey, it's back again. All right, cannot classify that one. Alright, here we go. We've got some artifacts. Let's see what one that is. That looks like a bit of condensation. That's an interesting looking condensation. But yeah, anything that has condensation in it, if it obstructs what you're trying to work on, then yeah, cannot classify. In this case, I can already see we can't classify because there's a bit of bacteria here. So yeah, we just cannot classify that one. And as I said before, even if we do get it wrong, it's power of the crowd, so most of the people will get it right anyway. Here's another artifact we have here that's called a shadow. I know, it's pretty complicated. But yeah, shadows can sometimes occur. If they're obstructing your view of the bacteria, don't worry about if they're obstructing your view of the bacteria, just cannot classify. But otherwise, if you can do it, go for it. In this case, this seems pretty easy. We only got 1, and then it drops off at 2. Done. Next. Oh, we're gonna do etch-a-cell in etch-a-cell in a sec. I should have brought my what's it called? My drawing tablet, because drawing tablet would be great for etch-a-cell. Okay, we got a little bit of condensation on these, but it's easy to see that number 2 is the one where it drops off. That one's got contamination. Ah, this one's nice. You see it, it looks like it's grown a bit, and then it slides off, and then 7 there's a tiny bit, but 8 there's nothing. We worked on these before. Mr. Boys is saying we worked on these before using Mueller, Hinton, agar to grow bacteria and see how susceptible to certain antibiotics. Yeah, and I think we can go back and whoa, that looks like a really nasty agar plate. I'm gonna go back to this. I'll see if it says anything about the project. So yeah, it looks like they might be focusing on tuberculosis, but I have a feeling that they're just focusing on generally everything. Patient. Okay, no, yeah, they're just focusing on tuberculosis. So test the antibiotics. Work on every single sample we collect. Help us understand, predict tuberculosis bacteria that would be resistant to antibiotics. So yeah, they're looking at resistance to antibiotics in this one. Yeah, I think they did say something about condensation in here. Let's see what they say about it. However careful, the scientists are sometimes... sorry, that's contamination. Sometimes you might see a patch of something off to one side. Don't worry, it's very dark. It will look quite different to bacterial growth and definitely isn't an air bubble. It's probably some condensation. As long as confidence and experiment growth, yeah, they don't say much about it. But yeah, I mean, the amount of samples that they're taking, they have to have some cost-cutting measures. It's just not feasible to have all the like super high-tech measures going in place to actually keep these things incubated. Alright, what do we got here? Looks like 2. Number 1 has nothing. Hey, there we go. That one ends at 10. That one's cannot classify. So yeah, I just completed all my uni exams over this week. Yeah, I've got a whole big break, so I should be able to do a whole lot more of these. I'm keen on doing it too. I might be getting a webcam sometime in the future, maybe. Yeah, I might actually do live streaming with my face, so you can see who I am and what's going on and how pretty my tea looks. It doesn't look that pretty. It's actually, I've got my tea in a mug that is supposed to be for a cake in a mug. Yeah, cake in a mug. So the reason I put it in the cake in a mug is because it's got a lot more space in it, so I can drink more tea. This one's a little bit iffy because there's a tiny bit of contamination there. There's a little bit of bacteria there. There's a little bit of bacteria there. So I'm just gonna say cannot classify. This one's easy. Number 6. There's growth at the start and then there's growth at the end. I'm gonna go cannot classify. Another one, easy 6. 8. I've done this so many times that I can do it almost instantly now. What do we got? That's a lot of condensation, but it looks like the bacteria ends at 2. That one's got stuff at the end. I think it's about 10 here. Let's go 10. The little bacteria that doesn't match control strain, most likely negative. What do you mean by negative, Mr. Boys? You probably know a lot more of the terminology behind this than I do. All I know is agar plate bacteria. I'm not much of a biologist, but I am interested in virology. 7. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it. I'll whatever you type, I'll just say. This is going to be recorded anyway. Actually, might start uploading these to YouTube. I'll just rip the recordings from Twitch. Oh yeah, that was fine. 2. This one's got lots of contamination. Ew, that's some pretty nasty condensation right there. But I can see it ends at 2. Actually, I don't want to trust that because if you take a look at the agar plates with no antibiotics, this acts as a reference. Yeah, I did say virology, Mr. Boys. Yeah, even though I'm mostly into my computing technology and physics, I do have niche interests in virology. For all I could be, I could be a doctor. I read all the anatomy books in the library when I was a kid, except I hate anatomy. Virology is a little bit interesting. Oh, a funny story. I went into a Wikipedia rabbit hole. I think it was the night before my birthday. For a solid 2 hours, I was reading how HIV and AIDS works, like the virus. And so now I'm pretty much an expert, so long as I know all the specific proteins and stuff that they bind onto. So it's really fun stuff. Virology is really cool. Okay, so as I was saying, so this is the snapshot of the bacteria without antibiotics, and they usually give this as a reference image so you can see what you could probably expect in the dosage agar plates. And well, first of all, important thing: if these things are empty, you say no growth in either the antibiotic wells. Right. Second of all, yeah, they actually I already said it. Second of all, they act as a reference, so you can look at what they look like. If you look closely at this, you can see sort of like dips, I guess, or troughs sort of thing, and sort of, yeah. And so that makes me think that this isn't actually condensation. It might actually be the bacteria itself. If you love HIV, you'd love rabies. I don't want to say I love HIV. That's a bit weird, but I love studying it. And yeah. But it's even if you find a cure or something to it, it can still evolve past it. I'm going to say cannot classify for this because I'm not sure whether it is contamination or condensation. Look at this. I think it is condensation because this one doesn't even look like it and it has condensation. I can't say whether it's 4 or 5, so I'm going to have to say cannot classify for that one. Mr. Boys. Okay, this one's cannot classify. 1, 2. I think we'll do 3 more and then we'll move to Etcher cell. Okay, yeah, that's empty, but then it comes back. I'm gonna say cannot classify. 5. 2. Alright, I think it's around 3. We'll move to HSL now. I think I should still have that in here somewhere. Bash the bug, plankton, measuring giraffes, group cluster search, mount hunter, cosmic gravity spy. No, I don't seem to have it in my history, so we'll have to go back to the projects. So yeah, this one's pretty fun because you get to identify mitochondria. So, oh, this one's almost finished. Look at that, 99% complete. People are going through this fast. 1,000 subjects to go through. So yeah, it looks like they're just getting a general data set that can be used for a whole bunch of other stuff. They have an external project. Might as well take a look at that, see what they're doing. That's their looks like one of the logos for one of our unis here. Looks familiar. Anyway, so I guess this is just the general site for the university itself. So they do research and stuff. Is it a university? Oh, I think it's just a lab. Like they're just an organization. Let's see. About us. It's an institute. We are Biomedical Discovery Institute. Ah, okay, so yeah, they're not a university, they're an institute. Okay, it seems like they're doing lots of research, and they decided to take up a Zooniverse project with this. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, I'll show you the mitochondria now. Let's get straight into it. Hopefully, there's actually some work units we can do, because it's almost finished. All right, I'm gonna. Oh, this is pretty alright. Okay, so yeah, we're looking for mitochondria. So yeah, so we're looking for stuff that looks like grays, black outline with little lines in it. If you go through the tutorial, it'll see, yeah, as they say here, they can vary a lot in shape and size, but are typically sausage-shaped with a dark grey outline and wiggly lines inside. Gotta love how scientists describe things, it's brilliant. But yeah, they, fun fact, I think they tell you what's inside of it. Mitochondria. Little lines inside which are also called cristae. Cristae? So we can search that up maybe. I occasionally go into Wikipedia, so let's do it on Wikipedia. Cristae. Cristae? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this is in the mitochondrion, so let's see which part is the cristae. Not sure what that's pointing to. It says it's like right there. Like the whole thing might be a cristae. Crystal membrane. I'll get to that in a second, Mr. Boys, but we're just figuring out what a cristae is, so let's see what it is. Cristae is a fold in the inner membrane of the mitochondrion. And crest or plume. Okay, so it's like the little wiggly thing. Alright. Interesting. So yeah, Mr. Boys was just asking if this is an electron microscope scan. It is, and we have multiple layers too. It takes pictures of all, like a whole bunch of layers above and below the cell, so it like takes it in slices. The reason why they do this is we sort of want to get a little bit of a 3D image of it, like for the entire purpose that we can see. I might come across an example. I'll show you guys if I come across an example. But yeah, there's a specific reason why we want a 3D image. It's so we can get more accurate results. Okay, so we just, literally for this project, we just need to circle around everything that's a mitochondria. Very tedious task. It really hurts your hands after a while if you're using a mouse, but I gotta remember to bring my drawing tablet for this one. Okay, that looks to be it. That's probably not one, but we can check. I'm going to say that is one, because it does have the same colors and stuff. Mr. Boyce says it's basically the mitochondria cell membrane. It was theorized that the mitochondria had its own microbe before introduction to basic cell. Interesting history fact. Maybe. Yeah. What Mr. Boyce just said is yeah, the grey parts around it is the cell membrane. People in early days thought that the mitochondria was its own cell and sort of bacteria, maybe, instead of being actually incorporated into the cell. I think the threads are the proteins or the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Yeah, I have no idea what those mean, but as far as I know, in the tutorial they said they're the cystae, and as far as I saw in Wikipedia what the cystae was, it was just like the little folds within the mitochondria that do stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the project. You just draw around mitochondria, and it looks like there's no more left, so we'll just go to the next one. This looks like the exact same cell, doesn't it? Anyway. Here might be a good example to show the reason for 3D imaging. If you see around here, we have a mitochondria that's right next to it. It's this one. But there's also weird stuff here, and we're not sure whether that's a part of the mitochondria or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the different parts and see whether it actually incorporates with it. Alright? In the upper images, there's nothing really here, but as you go down, you'll find that it actually forms a full mitochondria. The reason with that is probably the X-ray image is showing it a little bit tilted. So maybe if you're looking at it side on, it might look like this. Okay, and so from the X-ray image, the electron microscope image, we might only be seeing this part here. Okay, only this top part. Whereas the mitochondria is, in reality, on an angle like that. And so that's why we need that 3D image, because now we know that all this part here is actually a mitochondria. And that's how we get the most accurate results with this. But it is flippin' phenomenal how we can get X-ray microscope image of these things. So I keep saying X-rays, electron microscopes imagery of these things. Electron microscopes aren't that cheap. I know my university has around 4 of them, I think. No, 5 actually, including a desktop one. Like one that actually sits on like a desk and you can take it around and go do stuff with it. Those things are bloody expensive. I know my uni has around like $4 million worth of electron microscopes, so they're pretty loaded. Misty Boy said something. I'll come to it in a sec. Yeah, electron microscopes are very altitude strict and can only clearly focus certain levels. Yeah. I've worked with a couple of them. I haven't actually like used them, but I've seen people use them. I have actually used one, but it was the tabletop one because the tabletop one is a lot more user friendly. So it lets us do it. Here we go. Here's an interesting thing. We have to now circle this because those two are joined. Okay, if you look at it side on, it might look like this. Okay, and we might only be seeing this layer. Okay, so that's why we only see 2 dots, but when we move to an upper layer, we find that, hey, there you go, it joins into one big mitochondria. Okay, so if we go back to this level, we'll fill in that one. Okay, yeah, that looks good. I feel like we're getting just the exact same cell snapshots from the same cell. Like, is it just me, or does this cell look exactly the same each time? Let's see what we got. That's its own mitochondria by the looks of it. Yeah, and that one's its own as well. That's a nice looking mitochondria. That's one there as well. Oh, one of my favorite songs is on. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It is, yeah, Misty Boys. It is tedious drawing this with a mouse. I do have a drawing pad, but I didn't manage to get it. Did I click that properly? Because I swear that's exactly the same as the one we got before. But yeah, I do have a drawing tablet. I could bring in a drawing tablet, but no point now. I'd have to like go AFK in that, and I prefer to sit here. Get ready to sip my tea. Is my tea? No, it's still hot. Gotta wait for it to cool down. Cool. It's starting to get hot in here. I don't know if you can hear my fan. Let's see. No, it looks like you can't hear my fan. Interesting. And did I set it on 2? It's supposed to be on 1. That's better. It gets really hot in here. My room is basically a really small, like, sort of brick room with just my computer in it. Because my computer has so much... oh, my computer has 2 GPUs in it, because I also do computational volunteered science. It produces quite a bit of heat, and especially in the summer, if you have the door closed in here, it is painful. It turns into a sauna. Anyway, we're chilling for the night. It's just ticked past, well, not just ticked past midnight, but it's past midnight now over here. It's 12:11 a.m. Let's look at some other stuff to do. Maybe I'll do more giraffes. Let's take a look at some giraffes. If it takes too long to load, like I've noticed from the last times, I'm probably not gonna bother. But let's see. Yeah, it's not too bad. Alright, top of the Aussie cones. So yeah, basically we're just picking the particular aspects of giraffe that we can find. And essentially this will probably go on to be used for training neural networks to figure out what's a giraffe, where it is, and how tall it is, and stuff like that. Now, we also need to mark the bottom of the front, the bottom front of front hoof. So we've got to mark the toes of the giraffe, but in this case we can't see it, so we don't mark it. So that's done. And yeah, these photos were actually taken by real people going out in the African safari and going and snapping pictures of giraffes. Hey, look, we've got a picture of a zebra. There's a sneaky zebra. Maybe I'll make that as a highlight. Take a screenshot of that and I'll post it in. Actually, I'll zoom out. Yeah, there we go. I'll put that on my Twitter. I should really get some banners for the bottom of the Twitch stream, because I think my friend was recommending I do a donation thing. Ow. My friend was recommending I do a donation little widget or something down the bottom, and I was thinking maybe I could just incorporate my social media on it too. Yeah. Sorry, I just got my finger caught between something there. Okay. Ow. Didn't do that much damage, but it hurt a little bit. But anyway. Let's go. So top of the Aussie cones. They call them Aussie cones. I like calling them Aussie cones. It sounds fun. But they just say horns. Top of the head is, for this one, is just in between the ear there. And then the indent where it meets the neck. And we don't have hooves, so let's just continue. Next. Whoa, this one's sideways. Let's turn it this way. Oops. Yeah, that's better. This is a brilliant image. Alright, top of the head is right there. Neck meets the chest. Front hoof Looks like we can sort of see it. I mean, we can make a good estimation. Whoops. We can make a good estimation. I mean, it would be around there, right? I'll change this there. Be around there. No, go this way. No, I don't want to do that. Oh. Okay, it's still there. Alright. Good. Okay, that's all those done. Next. Got another one sideways. Let's go. It's only after you've been looking at giraffes for too long that you start to think giraffes really look weird. Like you gotta say that. Like, I mean, after you've been looking at it for long enough, they are sort of weird. Like, look how long their neck is, and why the hell do they have those like weird horn things that aren't even horns? You get desensitized to what a giraffe looks like. Mr. Boy says Team Tree's donation to Mr. Beast. I have no idea what that means. I don't follow much Twitch culture. I'm just here because it's like the main streaming platform that I can sort of stream on, that everyone pretty much has an account on. So I just choose this. I mean, it's mostly for gaming, but they have their own like little weird channels like science and technology. I'm actually surprised. Most of the stuff, I've said this before, most of the stuff in science technology, last time I checked, was just people growing weed. And there was one where there was someone growing corn, and they were growing corn. That was fun. This one's an interesting giraffe. It's bending its neck. What's this? Miss Rose, ever considered reading parasitology? It's literally monster hunting. ever considered reading parasitology? It's literally monster hunting. Yeah, I do have a little bit of a fascination in parasitology because it sort of relates to virology. Parasites itself are gross, but like, I mean, anatomy is sort of gross if you think about it, but I still learnt about it because I don't know, it's sort of, I don't know if you would call it morbid curiosity, but it's sort of the same sort of meaning sort of thing as morbid curiosity. Oh yeah, it has. Science and tech has been overrun by programmers. I mean, I don't think there's a problem with it. It does leave the people who are doing actual science down at the bottom of the categories, which is a bit disappointing. But I mean, I'm not really too concerned about any views or anything I get on here. It's just mainly I'm coming here just to have a little bit of fun, talk to some people, and just teach people how Zooniverse works, because I think it's a great thing that you can do if you have any spare time. Like if you're sitting on the train or something, you can. It's even got a mobile app, so you can do it on your mobile too. And it's, yeah, I just think it's a nice little thing you can do when you got a little bit of spare time. Help out some scientists. There is another service called BOINC, Berkeley Open Infrastructure for Network Computing. That's where you can contribute your computing power, but not everyone has a great deal of computing power, and not everyone wants to sacrifice their hardware or whatever for computing, because I don't know, maybe it's not a bad thing to think about, but some people say that it might damage their hardware, which is a completely valid concern. And maybe you want to do something like this, where it's less impactful on hardware and it's more impactful on your brain. Impactful in a good way. Yeah, so I'm just here teaching people pretty much. Having the viewers here is just a bonus. Otherwise I'd be lonely. Occasionally I have people coming on and speaking, but usually at this time of night no one's awake except for the Americans. And I usually come on because most of the Americans come on. What's this? Mr. Boy is kind of jealous that stocks, investments, and Bitcoin have their own category on Twitch. Really? I didn't know that. Maybe I should check that out. I mean, I am a little bit interested in cryptocurrency myself. I don't want to ramble too much on about it because I know very controversial topic. Probably don't want me ranting on about it within a science and technology category. I'll probably leave that to the Bitcoin and stocks and investments category on Twitch, where it belongs. There is a lot of I know I work with a lot of scientific computing communities, and they really don't like cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, because there is a cryptocurrency that does run using the Boink network that rewards people for actually doing the science on Boink, and people are very speculative about it, and there's a lot of people in the Boink community who really don't like the cryptocurrency that does it. This one's an interesting looking giraffe, smiling at me. But yeah, I'm just here doing the science. If you want to talk about cryptocurrency out of it, feel free to. I definitely have to put up some social media or something so you guys know how to contact me. Top of the head. Do I have to draw 2 Aussie cones? Or just 1? Everything that I've done here is just 1, but I'm thinking like maybe it should be 2. Anyway, let's continue. I'll keep doing it 1 because I'm lazy. But hey, sometimes laziness is good. Sometimes laziness is good. Sometimes the best example where laziness is good is in programming. Lazy loading is a good way to do things. Python, now one of the, I think it's the most popular programming language now. That's a really lazy programming language. If you're a really lazy programmer, go do Python. Alright, this time we can't find the top of the Aussie cards, so we're just going to do the top of the head. And it looks like we don't have any hooves, but we have where the neck meets the chest, which is right around there. I think we can only do 1 on this one, which was the neck meets the chest. This is a good song too. I think it's my favorite song. Even though it's literally in Hebraic, I love it, because it's just like that type of song where it doesn't matter what language is spoken in, you still get the vibes of it. Oh, no, I don't want to make another one. Top of the head is just there. I don't know how well you can hear the music, but I'm not too concerned. It's just there for the background, because so you don't hear just dead silence for most of the time. We'll be streaming for 43 minutes, I think. Yeah, better switch songs soon because it's about to run out. Wow, I've been doing this for 43 minutes, jeez. Doesn't feel like it. I feel like I've only been here for like 15 minutes. Maybe we've gone through too many giraffes, we've all been desensitized now. Yeah, I'm not identifying that. Alright. Let's get out of here, let's see some weird things. I might check out the eye for diabetes, let's see what that is. So yeah, this one is looking at the eye health of diabetes patients. I don't know the specifics of it, because I'm not a doctor, but I do know that if you have diabetes, you do have problems with your eyes, I think. Let's have a sip of my tea. Oh, that's nice. Put a lot of honey into this thing. Okay. I for diabetes. Oog voor diabetes in Dutch. I am not keen on speaking in Dutch. I don't know why they have that. Probably because it's a Dutch project, but hey, who cares? It's I guess it's a worldwide initiative or something. Everyone in the world, anyone in the world can get diabetes. So 400 million diabetes patients. This number is expected to increase to 600 million by 2035. That's a long time. So yeah, here we go. About 35% of diabetic patients have eye disease called diabetic retinopathy. So in technical terms, breaking that up, diabetic meaning resulting from diabetes, retinopathy, something to do with the retinas, something going wrong with the retinas of your eye, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the part which actually takes in the light and turns it into electrical signals. Correct me if I'm wrong. Someone quickly fact check that. It's been a long time since I read those anatomy books. Alright, let's check it out. Let's see, training, mark red legion. Let's start with training, because usually they want us to start off with training. Welcome to I for Diabetes. This is training for the red lesions workflows. I recommend you practice this training before starting the actual red lesions workflow. You'll be searching for small and subtle indications of diabetic retinopathy. We'll work with partial retina pictures. You're the only expected to mark lesions. Okay, so what are they exactly? Is it just like little circles? Use plus numbers. I'm not going to search diabetic foot, Mr. Boys. God no. So what exactly are we looking for? Why didn't they put this slide up one more? What are you searching for? We asked you to mark two types of red lesions: small red lesions caused by microaneurysms and red lesions caused by hemorrhages, which vary wildly in size and shape. Okay, show me what they are. Small red dots and microaneurysms. Okay, microaneurysms are the earliest visible signs of diabetic retinopathy. They are dilations of the blood vessels lying underneath the retina. They show up as small red dots on the retina. Okay, understandable. I'm guessing those things, yeah, those are irregular hemorrhages. So it seems pretty easy to differentiate these as a human. As a computer, not so much. Computers might be a bit confused. Double helix said going blind seems pretty bad too, although I guess you can't get an eye transplant. Yep, your eyes are precious, you really need to keep them. And the importance of this project is that all the data from this can go onto neural networks and stuff like that that can actually help detect these issues instead of actual medical practitioners doing it. Even then, if medical practitioners actually go out and check these things, they'll probably be also using this, maybe if they make an AI system out of this, they'll probably be using this as a decision support system. So they'll go and get a second quote. Probably shouldn't say second quote, a second opinion, that's a better word, from an AI instead of just themselves. I'm just going to quickly put on some new music. Give me a sec. What do we got? What do we got? Put on some chill stuff. This is good. YouTube is changing terms of service. I don't care. Alright, yep, hemorrhages, boxes, and circles. Well, hemorrhages are generally easy to spot. Lesions can be caused. Small and more subtle. That makes sense. Use color filters to help. Okay, cool. So we get access to different color filters. That's nice. Dirty lens check. Okay, one of the filters actually the picture, the other. Actually, the other. Ah, okay, that's smart. Cool. All right. They've done everything with this. Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the fact that diabetics are known to have flawed healing. That's especially because I know because my grandfather has diabetes, so he struggled. Literally, if someone if he wants to go and scratch his skin, he has to be careful because it might peel off. A bit gruesome, but hey, that's how diabetes works, and that's why we want to know a little bit more about it. So mark border cases. We only expect to mark lesions inside the bright area of the picture. Ah, okay. So we want to only go in the bright area of the picture, not any other part. If you're marking a lesion that is partly inside and outside the area, try to mark the entire lesion if part of it is in the dark area. Okay. Yep. So even if it's in there, do it. Check your work. No one does that, except when you're in an exam. Interesting, it has a little bump on the outside of there. Anyway, let's zoom in. Let's go. Zoom. What do we got? We got hemorrhages. Let's take a look at the pictures we got. So, we got that image. Then we have the different colors. This looks sort of weird, but, I mean, it's medical, so what do you expect? I think we got a... Whoa. Oh, that's a picture of the other eye. Yep, this training image. Okay, so I don't think we want to release the answers yet. Let's just check what we have. So I can see something here that's a microaneurysm. Hemorrhages. Let's check whether. I think that's a big hemorrhage. I'm not too sure. I can see some things up here, like maybe that might be a micro hemorrhage or whatever. And then we have some hemorrhages here, which is pretty obvious. Okay, so if we go here, geez, they go really deep. So yeah, it looks like, oh yeah, okay, so they're really sort of stringent on all of this. Okay, so I guess that counts. Yeah, this seems like a really complicated project. You have to be like super careful. So they want that, they want that, and they want that. That's 3 times. Then there's a little, there's one there. Oh, that's an actual, that's a hemorrhage by the looks of it. That looks like a circle to me though. Interesting. Anyway, this is only training, so we don't care. Let's just continue. I want a second one. Okay, need more practice. Yeah, let's just do that. Alright. Alright, microaneurysm right there. Yeah, that's a clear one right there. And now you see why computers would be a lot better at this, because computers will scan the whole image. Humans will just go in and say, yeah, it looks alright. Yeah, whatever. Alright, let's see if... oh, whoops, that was the answer. Okay, zoom out a bit. Zoom out a bit more. Okay, I can see a microaneurysm right there. Small hemorrhage right there. Alright, so yeah, a computer will scan the whole image. Oh, sorry, I missed out on a message. An issue with your machine tells them the errors of interest. Yeah, so Double Helix says they're already using AI in retina scanning machines, by the looks of it. and the AI will only tell them the areas of interest, and then the doctor will have to go into that. And that's the important thing that a lot of people aren't educated about AI, because in my high school course, IPT, I taught myself about AIs, because I chose to do something called decision support systems as an elective. And what they said was, if you're using a neural network, it's totally a decision support system. It's not a decision making system. It's supposed to aid decisions. It's not supposed to make the decisions for you. And that's especially important when you come into business practices and when you come into medical practices too. And Double Helix does point out a very important concept that I think a lot of people need to know, and it needs to be specified whenever they talk about it on the news, whenever they talk about it on the radio, anything. They should definitely specify the fact that these things should be used as decision support systems, not decision making systems. That is some damn good tea. Make my magic tea. Alright, what have we got? Aha, they probably missed out on the hemorrhage, which I saw. Maybe that wasn't a hemorrhage. Because actually, it actually might not be a hemorrhage, because it didn't appear in the original... Oh, it did. Did they have the same image? Weird. It looks like it's not appearing there. Why is there... Oh, that's me. Never mind. Yeah. I don't know if I want to try pronouncing that stuff down there. Cluocodes. Groen. Is Gamak... Okay, no. Tavinden. What's more illegicum? I feel like I'm offending someone by saying that. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. Alright, let's get some more training going. I don't think I'll do this project because I'm really tired. I'm really not in the mood to sort of go through the process of actually doing this, but I'm happy to do the training just a little bit, just to check it out. That there looks like a hemorrhage. That looks like a dot. I'm not sure if that's a hemorrhage or a dot there. Oh, there's definitely something there. Oh, hold on. There's a big hemorrhage there. There's a big hemorrhage. Now I see that there. I think that's a hemorrhage because it's not a proper dot. It's yep. That there, easy hemorrhage. I can see a micro thing there. Is there one on top of it? No. Jeez, I like that. I like that light better for some reason. I think that did pretty well. Yeah, we got some false ones there by the looks of it. But hey, we did pretty well. We did pretty well. Definitely did that one, that one, that one, that one. Yeah, that was pretty good. I think I'll probably have to wrap it up in maybe like 10 minutes or something. Might just take a look at some extra stuff. I think I did make a note on the forums about me doing the stream, so hopefully some people in here know about it. Double Helix said it would be interesting to have medical students come do whichever of these projects they want to specialize in. It could lead to training, but I'd say medical students have a far higher degree of knowledge than most of us citizen scientists do. So I think they'd be better off studying and doing all their complicated stuff rather than sitting down and doing this stuff. But I mean, hey, it's entirely up to them if they want to come and do it. They're more than welcome. They have the knowledge, and they'd be a very valuable source of results for Zooniverse. But hey, we're regular citizens. We can do it ourselves. We can have a crack. Yeah, like I'm doing right now, trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do next. Is there anything in space? No. I feel like some muons. Do you guys feel like some muons? This is my go-to project if I am bored, or I'm in like class or something and I want to do some Zooniverse while I'm waiting for the tutor or lecturer to get on with something. I'm still surprised it's only 5% complete. I don't think a lot of people do this, but I do a lot of it. I know I do a lot of it. Actually, how many points do I have on it? Let's check. Muon Hunters, 758 classifications. Cool. Let's go back. Yes, muons. Majority are not muons. I should probably explain the project to you guys. So essentially what we're doing here is we're finding muons in images of galactic background radiation. Sorry, not background radiation, it's just radiation and solar winds and all the particles floating around in the atmosphere. Sometimes some of them start hurtling towards Earth, and that's pretty much what we're detecting here. Oh yeah, thanks Double Helix. I did mark it this time, because I remembered, and now I'm a bit more responsible. But yes, I started at 3370. I think someone else mentioned it up there, I can't remember, but yeah, Harry, my friend, marked it as 3370, so thanks to him, because the first 3 streams I keep forgetting to take it down and calculate how much we did. Okay, so yeah, what we're doing here, if people don't know what we're doing, we're trying to find muons. So muons are sort of like, if you go back to high school chemistry, or even just high school science itself, you guys all learnt about electrons probably. Electrons are the negatively charged particles that are, quote, in orbit around elements. So they're in orbit around atoms of elements. And they're what make up the shells and the orbitals and whatever you want to call them. Now the reason why I said quotes is because in reality they don't, quote, orbit. They do something a little bit different according to quantum mechanics. But that's not what we're concerned with here. We're concerned with what a muon is. So a muon is basically an electron except like 100 times heavier. So even though an electron is super light, it's like crazy. You don't even want to. It's so insignificant that you really don't care how heavy an electron is, because you're made up of trillions upon billions of electrons. So you're pretty heavy because you're made up of so many. But yeah, electrons are really super tiny, and they're super negatively charged, and they're super light. But muons are a lot heavier than electrons, and they decay pretty quick. So if you get a muon, it's likely it's just going to explode into like a whole bunch of other particles. Let me just check what's going on with my music here. I think it stopped. No, it didn't. It's still going. Okay. Yeah, muons are heavier than electrons, and we're detecting them coming into the Earth's atmosphere. Now, there's no problem with them coming into the atmosphere. It happens all the time. Stars go supernova, and they spit out muons, and they fly in through our atmosphere. They manage to decay only like... sometimes they even pass through parts of the Earth on their way down. But yeah, we're detecting them. Why are we detecting them? Scientists want to know how they act. They want to know how many we can find coming through the atmosphere, to know maybe how the atmosphere helps to get rid of muons. We could probably look at the description later, but essentially what we're looking for is stuff that looks like circles or partial circles. In this one, it's not very interesting because there's not that many obvious ones in there. This one looks like there's nothing much in there too. Come on, give us an interesting one. I want to show people. Here we go. Now you can probably see there's some interesting things here. Majority are not muons, so we'll just, oops, click that one. Because they look like circles. Circles define muons. I don't know why they make circles, so don't ask me. Even though I like my physics, I can't answer why they're circles. But it is interesting. It's called a muon ring. So they make a nice little circle as soon as they hit the detector. Done. Okay. Looks like there's none in there. Yeah, none in there, that's pretty clean. You'd notice that when we get the batches of images, most of them sort of look the same. So you'll notice that they sort of look the same. Like there's a lot with lines going down, and they're all sort of congregated into the top right. Now that's what they're trying to train. They have a computer algorithm, maybe a neural network, that goes in and finds all the images of the detector that sort of look the same, and it groups them together. Because usually you'll get a group that if you sort of split everything into groups, you'll find that you'll have groups that have no muons in it, and you'll have groups that have some muons in it, and groups that have all muons in it. So the scientists are interested in groups with no muons, and the scientists are also interested in the groups with all muons. And so we are helping that computer algorithm learn to differentiate muons from other things, because you get really, really hard scenarios like this where you just have like something sticking out from the side. Is that a muon? To me it is, because it produces sort of like a semicircle. I'd like to mark that, thank you. And so yeah, this is why the computer algorithm can sometimes have issues, and so they're just retraining it, making another data set, and getting through the algorithms to make this process a whole lot easier. I need another sip of the tea. So yeah, I think I'm going to do this for about 5-10 minutes, and then I'll have to get going because I am exhausted. I had a huge day today. 2 exams. Man. Hey, at least it's all over now. 4 months of I might be doing work, might be doing programming. I'll actually probably be contributing a lot to open source software repositories whenever I have the free time. Weekend project. Yeah. Doing this in my spare time too. I like doing the little streams for you guys. I really want to upload them to YouTube, but I'm going to see about uploading them to YouTube. I've got plenty of time this weekend. Oh, it's already the weekend. Would you look at that? 12:47 AM. Welcome to Australia, guys. Okay. None of muons here. Okay. What do we got? We got majority and not muons. That's a muon, that's a muon. Next, done. Majority not muons. I've never had, I think I've only had one ever that was the majority are muons. I've never had one where they're all muons. Seems to be a really rare one. I think I had one where there was no clear majority. But, yeah. Oh, whoops, hold on. Yeah, I'm glad that they put them as different colors, because I accidentally clicked the majority are muons. God, I love some of the features that they implemented on this, because it just makes so much sense from a user experience point of view. Yeah, none of muons here. And none there. There's a couple there. Majority not muons. So yeah, none of muons there. It looks like I've got nothing here. Oh, oops. Just give me a sec. Sorry about that, just clearing my throat. Okay, didn't want to put that on mic. I don't think you want to hear me cough all the time. Majority not muons. I feel like I do podcasts and stuff, so I feel like because I've heard my voice on the recordings, and it literally sounds like I'm depressed half the time. That's what I think. But I know I'm pretty sure in these ones I don't sound too bad. Because, I mean, if I'm smiling, then that means, hey, I'm speaking lightly, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, majority not muons, that's a muon. Majority of muons. I think I'll do a couple more, and then I want to check out the science and tech category on Twitch. Yeah, no muons there. Alright, cool. I think we'll save that for the end. I just want to quickly go on Twitch. I want to see what's on science and tech, because I haven't been there in a while. Maybe it's changed. Maybe we've got different things. Live Earthquakes is back. Looks like they have an interesting sort of visualization going there, because you got to have the prettiest visualizations. If you want to attract people, you got to have the prettiest stuff. Lots of programming. Someone is streaming Red Dead Redemption for some reason. The science and tech category. Spanish, and it's related to gardening and plants. How fantastic! All right. I know I've seen the stream before. It's they have like a little farm or a little chicken house or something, and you get to watch the chickens. What else we got? Relaxed sheep. Hey, look at me, 2 viewers. No one. There's a lot of 3D printers I've seen. Lots of coding. Here are the marijuana plants. Wow, they're actually not that popular anymore. Thank God. It's pointless. I have a stance on drugs. I'm not a big fan of drugs. If you like drugs, it's fine, just as long as it's legal in your country, go for it. But yeah, my personal view of it is, yeah, it's not. I don't really see a point to it. But yeah. So it looks like the marijuana streams are very unpopular at the moment. I'm more popular than them. If you're just joining, just noticed to go a couple of viewers in here. If you're just joining, I was just about to wrap up. I've been on here for about an hour and a bit. I was just going through the science and tech category to just check out what's going on, because I haven't been here in a while. Looks like the only thing that's changed is that the growing plants and stuff like that have become a lot less popular. Thank God. That guy's been running for a bit. He's training an AI bot to play agar.io. Printing pieces of the solar system. Interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of 3D printing streams. The spectrometers are pretty cool. Watch the hungry birds. That's got to be interesting. Learn how to code in Chelsea. Yeah. Looks like there's not much there. I'm getting a little bit popular there. Anyway. So yeah, I'd say I'll end that there. So I'll finalize the things and make a video. Upload it to YouTube maybe. I still got to set up YouTube for this. I'll probably do it tomorrow maybe. Otherwise I could probably upload it tonight. I don't know. Anyway, well that's it for tonight. Let's see how much I did. I started off with 3370. So let's do a quick calculation. I'm using a calculator because it's the dead of night. I can't do math in my head at the dead of night. So 3443 minus 3370. 73 classifications. I feel like I did more than that. I do notice that sometimes that Zooniverse does have a little bit of a weird classification system. Like, it'll only count as a classification if you actually like put a value other than I don't know what this is to one of them. Like, for example, a cannot classify and bash the bug might not count as a classification. But yeah, I don't know the specifics of that. I'd have to do a bit of research, a bit of reading. There's plenty of forums on here. If you're interested in Zooniverse.org, you can just come to Zooniverse.org and you can come and join me. And yeah, I'll be doing these streams hopefully a lot more frequently now, given that exams are over. I'll definitely work on uploading this to YouTube so people can come back and watch them. Maybe just have this in the background, sit to chill, maybe learn some stuff. And hopefully soon I should be able to have enough money to purchase a webcam. If you want to help support me in getting a webcam, I'll see about setting up donation options in the little widgets at the bottom of the Twitch stream. So maybe keep a heads up for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'll bring another cup of tea, and hopefully next time I have some biscuits, because I ran out of biscuits this time. Anyway, have a good day to all you Americans. Have a good midnight to all you Australians, and whatever else in whatever part of the world. Good day. Alright, see you guys later.